Matt with a home run, 8 runs batted in during the spring. Vargas waiting for the big right-hand batter to settle in. Adrian Gonzalez on deck. Vargas ready. Jason delivers. Fastball for a strike. Kemp put his arms up as if he thought the pitch was inside. 0-1 the count. Who do you think has the highest batting average in his career against left-hand pitching? And we're talking about active players. You're looking at him, Matt Kemp. Matt Kemp has a career batting average of .344 against left-handers. Derek Jeter and David Wright of the Mets, .338. Albert Pujols, .334. So the Dodgers would appear to have the right man up there. 1 ball and 1 strike. Vargas comes back, and it's taken just off the plate. 2-1 the count. So Vargas made 35 pitches in the first inning. And he's laboring again with 2 base hits and a strikeout here in the second inning. Anxiously, Mike Butcher and Mike Scioscia watching him. 2-1 pitch, fastball low. In fact, that might have been more of the change off the fastball. That was a good change he threw to Mark Ellis, but this time it died in the dirt. Waiting is Gonzalez. So Vargas is ready to make his 19th pitch of the inning and his 54th pitch in an inning and a third. So he is struggling. 3-1 the count. Jason set. Comes to the plate. Kemp lays off a pitch outside for ball 4. And that looked off speed. So again, Mike Butcher going out to the mound trying to console and straighten Jason Vargas out. Dodgers, when they had the bases loaded in the first inning, A.J. Ellis hit a grand slam home run. Now they have the bases loaded, 1 out in the second inning, and Adrian Gonzalez will be coming up. A couple of reports on Dodger pitching while we have a moment. Chad Billingsley threw good today, said Don Mattingly, and we'll see him tomorrow in Anaheim. And for Billingsley, with the sore finger, it was good that he threw breaking balls, maybe 10 or 12 of them. So they feel he is certainly moving in the right direction. Don talking to Pat Corrales just to his left in the dugout. There's Pat. The other report on Ted Lilly, he's just never caught up. We're concerned about him, and we have to do what's right for everyone. That is to say, perhaps Lilly would start the year on the DL, but we have to wait for official confirmation. But it certainly looks that way. 1 ball and no strikes to Adrian Gonzalez, with Kemp, Crawford, and Beckett out there on the line. The next pitch is lifted to left field. Going out for it is Ibar to make the catch, and then he drops the ball, picks it up, throws to third, and they get a force play on Crawford, who had nowhere to go. Scoring, however, is Beckett, and the Dodgers lead 6-3. So Ibar went out, and now let's see if Mike Scioscia wants to have the infield fly rule called. So if the infield fly rule is called, then Mike says that would be a double play at third, and the inning would be over. And the umpires are saying, that sounds right, but when there is the infield fly rule, the runner goes on his own danger. So he could be nailed. When the ball was dropped, that allowed Beckett to score. Now, the Dodgers have sent Carl Crawford back to third base. And that's what really brings Scioscia out. And the argument continues. Here it is. A high pop fly. Ibar took one look to see where Trumbo was. He had it in control and then just dropped it. So Beckett, who was at third, came in to apparently score a run, and then Ibar alertly picked up the ball that he dropped, threw to third for an apparent out. So Socha does get one credit. Crawford is going to be out at third base. So the Dodgers get an additional run, lead 6-3. There'll be an error charged to Ibar, and the batter now will be Luis Cruz. Six to 3 in favor of the Dodgers. We're in the bottom of the second inning. Cruz struck out on a couple of good fastballs in the first inning. So let's see what he gets this time. Vargas starts him low and away with a fastball, ball one. So Matt Kemp is at second. Adrian Gonzalez at first. An agonizing night for Jason Vargas, who I'm sure can't wait for it to end. 1 ball and no strikes. Vargas looks, comes back to his hitter, curveball for a strike, and the count 1-1. So a noisy night. The Angels got a run in the first inning, and the Dodgers came back with 5. Angels got 2 in the second. Dodgers come back with 1. Meanwhile, there's action now in the Angel bullpen. The 1-1 pitch is foul back. 1-2. Cruz a little angry at himself. I think he feels that was a pitch he should have driven and just fouled it back. Luis back up. Gonzalez and Kemp out on the lines. 6 runs, 6 hits for the Dodgers. 3 runs, 4 hits, and an error for the Angels. The 1-2 pitch on the way, and that's hit in the air to left field. Going back is Trumbo to the track at the wall. It is off the wall. 2 runs will score on a double by Cruz, and the Dodgers lead 8-3. Trumbo went back as if he might have a play. He got to the track looking over his left shoulder and then misjudged where the wall was. He could have gone back another step. Instead, he leaped a little early and the ball get away. David Carpenter will add up the totals. 8 runs and 7 hits. Carpenter's down in the bullpen. And that'll be enough for Vargas. And you like to shrug off an exhibition game as if to say it doesn't really matter. But I guarantee you to young Jason, it matters. He gives up 8 runs, 7 hits, a grand slam, and he's a very
muscle. And then he had to start all over again on his rehab.
They got the issues in this rotation.
Stetter coming out of the bullpen. It's pretty dark back there, and the first word we got was it was David Carpenter, but it is Stetter. Mitch Stetter out of Huntingsburg, Indiana, lives over in Phoenix. He's 6'5", 215, and the left-hander brought in to try and get out of the jam, and a big sidearm breaking ball away, ball one. That's the pitch where Roy Campanella came up with that great expression about that kind of a pitch would give a left-hand hitter the jelly leg. We'll see if he comes by way of first. Yep. Big roundhouse curveball, but he's inside. 2 balls and no strikes. Mitch Stetter is 32 years old. He'd been around, been with Milwaukee 5-6 different times. Couldn't stick too long, however. The 2-0 pitch on the way, sidearm fastball, swung on and missed. Stetter went to Indiana State University. Originally signed by the Milwaukee Brewers, and he was signed as a minor league free agent last November by the Angels. 2-1 pitch, sidearm snake and a comebacker. Stetter runs it to first, underhands to PUJOLS, and that's the inning. For the Dodgers, they add 3, and at the end of 2 innings, it's the Dodgers 8 and the Angels 3. If you're watching on television, 8-3 Dodgers, you'll notice they have taken the error down on the pop fly drop by Ibar for one basic reason, and that was the infield fly rule was not called. You know, there's a line in the infield fly rule about a reasonable expectancy to make the play. The bunt by Trout, and he's nailed. Nice play at third by Luis Cruz. Trout's been showing bunt and got a flare single, and this time he was determined to get the bunt down, and he is nailed. Nice play, gloved by Cruz. A lot of times, especially with a runner with the speed of Trout, you expect the third baseman to barehand it on the run and throw. Cruz felt he could glove it and then transfer and still get him. Ball one. 1-0. So anyway, that force play at third that took care of Crawford ruled a fielder's choice and no error. Fastball is a little low. You always forget that part of the rule, a reasonable expectancy. And on a high fly ball into shallow left, Ibar going out, and it was a fight. When you see Ibar on the heels of a Mike Trout trying to get a bunt down, Ibar's inability to lay down a squeeze bunt led to the Angel downfall 5 years ago. And interestingly enough, it involved the Red Sox Red Sox were leading 2-1, game 4. Top of the 9th inning. Ibar can't get the squeeze down. The go-ahead run is out at the plate, and Boston goes on to win it in the bottom of the 9th and win the series in 4 games. Ibar, however, has worked very, very hard to try and learn to be a good bunter, but he paid a huge price back in 2008. 3-1, whack foul down the line. 3-2 the count. Eric Ibar. He's 5'10". Callaspo is 5'9". And of course, the Dodgers at one time had Eric's brother, Willie Ibar. Signed Willie 2 years before Eric ever signed to be a pro. Fouled away on the next pitch, and the count remains 3-2. Eric Ibar picked a model. He picked somebody that he just wanted to observe constantly and then go out and try to imitate. And it turned out to be a dandy. The model he selected, Rafael Furcal. Beckett's 3-2 pitch on the way. And that's swung on and whacked into the gap in right center. Kemp trying to run it down. It's going to bounce over the wall for a ground rule double. So Ibar with 1 out doubles to right center field. And the batter is Albert Pujols. Ibar got a fastball at the knees, and he certainly knew what to do with it. Albert Pujols last year, and not to lay the body at any one man's doorstep, but earlier we told you the Angels started last year 6-14. One reason, Albert Pujols in the month of April hit .217. That's all. Beckett deals, fastball high, ball 1, 1-0. In his career, Pujols has 8 home runs here at Dodger Stadium. He also had a home run in the 2004 playoffs. Certainly one of the great hitters in the game. The 1-0 pitch on the way. Beckett deals, fastball foul back. Albert Pujols certainly will never be forgotten in the National League. One of only 5 National Leaguers ever to win the MVP at least 3 times. Who are the others? Well, Barry Bonds, Mike Schmidt, Roy Campanella, and a fella named Musial. 1-1 to Albert. Beckett certainly watching the runners tonight, keeping an eye on Ibar. There's always some little note about a player that you find unbelievable, and there is one note about Pujols, considering what he has done, that you find, how could that possibly be? Time. The note is Albert Pujols was the 402nd pick in the 1999 draft. 401 other players were selected ahead of him. 1 ball, 1 strike, ground foul outside of third. We're only in the 3rd inning, so we're still in a simulcast. I mean, just in case you joined us. Well, poor Jason Vargas had a nightmare. Made 60 pitches in the first 2 innings and couldn't go 2 innings. It happened. A.J. Ellis with a grand slam home run against him. Really set the tone for the Dodgers. 1-2 the count. Beckett very deliberate, and the next pitch fooled away. He fooled Pujols. That was a very awkward swing, and Pujols kind of looked out as if to say, yeah, good for you. You did fake me on that. Watch this swing. Half he didn't quite know what to do with it, and he looks out and kind of grins. Now back to being serious. Albert's 33. He's from Santo Domingo, as you probably know, the youngest of 11 children. 1-2 to Albert Pujols. Taken, strike 3 called. Do your job, Pujols growls as he walks away. 2 down. Pitch fooled him, I think, in the sense he thought it was inside, and it seemed to drift back and catch the inside corner. So for Beckett, he has 4 strikeouts. He has 2 down with Ibar at second base, and now Josh Hamilton at the plate. One big hitter after another. Hamilton has a look at a strike. 0-1 to Josh, and he looks questioningly at umpire Ripperberger. Hamilton with a couple of home runs in spring training. Strike 1 pitch coming up. Beckett very deliberate, watching Ibar. Hamilton tries to time one and fouls it off. One of the things I think that Jock Hamilton will forever remember, Josh, during the 2008 Home Run Derby, and that was the last All-Star game at Yankee Stadium, in the first round of the competition, he hit 28 home runs. He was then so exhausted he couldn't possibly win. But he'll never forget that. Justin Morneau beat him out. Strike 2 pitch on the way. Change off the plate. So this is indeed a very different Josh Beckett. No longer can he rely on the express, making a lot of off-speed pitches, speeding up, slowing down in his delivery a little bit, and leading 8-3. The 1-2 pitch on the way. Beckett said, here he comes. Fastball whacked down the left field line, base hit. So he went back to his strength, which might be a weakness, and the run scores on a double by Josh Hamilton. So I guess he figured with all the off-speed pitches, I'll try to sneak a fastball by. And that's that old line about trying to get a lamb chop by a wolf. So Hamilton doubles to left. Ibar scores, and it's now 8-4 Dodgers. Hamilton going the other way. And the batter, Mark Trumbo. Trumbo struck out in the second inning, 0-for-1. Beckett looking back at Hamilton, now to his hitter, and he's in the dirt. Nice block by A.J. Ellis. Beckett made 35 pitches in the first 2 innings, so he was doing okay, certainly compared to Vargas. Now Trumbo back in and waiting. 1 ball and no strikes. Trumbo lives on this count. Look out. 1-0 with him. Tell you why. Yep, ground ball, but this time an out. Ground ball to third. In his career, Mark Trumbo on a 1 ball no strike count is hitting .413. Hello. And at the end of 2.5, 8-4 Dodgers. Dodgers leading the Angels 8-4. Angels scored in the first inning. Dodgers came back with 5 on a grand slam by A.J. Ellis. Angels bounced back with 2 to make it 5-3. Dodgers came back with 3 to lead 8-3, and the Angels scored in the third inning. Well, we knew he was around. We thought he was coming in earlier, and Stetters came in to get Ethier, and now they bring in David Carpenter, and he will pick up. He'll be going up against A.J. Ellis, Justin Sellers, and we'll see about Beckett. David Carpenter, 25 years old. Pretty good fastball in for a strike. From Arlington, Texas, lives in Grand Prairie, Texas. Signed by the Angels back in 2009. So he hadn't pitched a lot. Fastball away, so he now evens it up, 1 ball and 1 strike. Wild ball game, 8-4 Dodgers, and we're only in the bottom of the third. 1-1 pitch on the way. Slider, 1-2. Did you ever take a rubber ball or a tennis ball and cut it in half? Turn it inside out the half and then scale it? It will really sail on you. And that last pitch, that slider he threw, looked exactly as if he had cut a tennis ball in half and sailed it. The 1-2 pitch, there's another one, down and away. 2 balls and 2 strikes they count. 8 runs, 7 hits, no errors for the Dodgers, including a grand slam by A.J. Ellis, doubles by Matt Kemp and Luis Cruz. The Angels, a 2-run home run by Alberto Callaspo and doubles by Ibar and Hamilton. Fastball ties up Ellis. He fouls it back to the screen. Though the battle continues. 2-2 the count. Ellis looking out at Carpenter, who is 6'3" and maybe 180 pounds. Right-hander ready in the 2-2 pitch to A.J. Ellis. Swung on and hit into right center field. It'll drop for a base hit. It was a breaking ball away. Ellis just went with it. So A.J. Ellis with a grand slam home run, and now a leadoff single to right center. And the batter will be Justin Sellers. Sellers flied to center in the first inning, 0 for 1. Don't forget, Monday, opening day with the Giants. Game time 1:10 and all the pomp and ceremony that always precedes an opener. All the excitement. And then the world champion Giants led by Matt Cain. And the battle cry for the Dodgers, win now with Kershaw. And that'll be quite a battle in game 1. 1 ball and no strikes the count. Carpenter ready. David delivers. Ground ball up the middle and goes through into center field. Stopping at second is Ellis. So the Dodgers now have 9 hits in 2 innings plus. Of course, no team has it made for sure. And even a power club like the Angels have to be concerned with their pitching. Just so as the Dodgers with their power and their talent. And for Mike Scioscia, his bullpen in some area seems strong, another area a little weak. Until Ryan Matson gets 100% for sure. So 2 on, nobody out. Josh Beckett up there in what appears to be a bunt situation. Pujols and Callaspo in on the grass. Josh shows bunt, turns around, shows it again, and the pitch to him, he lays off a pitch outside. Ball 1, 1-0. One of the oldest defensive plays on a bunt, and I'm sure Wallach going to be talking to Beckett. The first time what you do, you have your third baseman charge the plate, you have your shortstop break to cover second, and you have your second baseman break to cover first. So if you're the runner out there at second base, you say, oh, it's a holiday. I got plenty of room to get down at least halfway. But after the first time, the next time the second baseman doubles back to the bag. Beckett tries to, doesn't get it. Same play each time. Callaspo coming, Ibar covering. Kendrick heading to back up PUJOLS. Well, that's the same play twice. But boy, once you take it for granted, if you're Ellis out there at second thinking, wow, Kendrick's gone to first, Ibar's gone to third, I can take a huge lead. But Ellis has been around long enough to keep one eye on Howie Kendrick. 2 balls and no strikes. They're squeezing, and this time they go back and they throw it into center field, but threw it hard so that Trout was right there to recover. But that's the battle inside the game. The second baseman and the runner at second. The throw behind Ellis, but he could see Trout racing in. So for fun, we'll keep an eye on Howie Kendrick because it certainly looks like a bunt situation. Ibar ready to cover third. Callaspo caddy corner. Kendrick is going to break, and a full swing on a 2-0 count. 2-1. So now 2 balls and 1 strike. David Carpenter trying to take care of Beckett. Runners taking a cautious lead. The pitch, the bunt is missed. Yep, but the runner's holding. 2-2 the count. Now Tim Wallach looks in the dugout to get a sign, relays it. Beckett picks it off. So do the runners. Don Mattingly, we'll see what he plays with 2 strikes. Nobody out. The 2-2 pitch. Beckett is not bunting, swinging, and strikes out. So all of that for that. A strikeout. Runners holding at first and second with 1 out. And the batter will be Carl Crawford, who is 2 for 2. Crawford making his debut at Dodger Stadium. Very impressive. A line drive single to center, a line drive single to right. A.J. Ellis taking his lead at second. Crawford waiting. Here comes the pitch, and the pitch is a little low. Ball 1, 1-0. For Carl Crawford, he thinks back to growing up at 14, working at his grandfather's barbecue joint. It was called Burns Barbecue. He did all kinds of work from there. Says it stimulated him to work harder and move on to better things. For Crawford, although you can't see it with the long sleeve jersey, he's had the tattoo Killer and Ola at me on his biceps for several years. The next pitch low and away. So 3-0 the count to Carl Crawford. Crawford in the home run department has hit as many as 19 for the Rays. So we'll see what he does 3-0. Mark Ellis on deck. Carpenter set, right-hander deals and gets it in there inside corner. 3-1 the count. Dodgers 8, Angels 4. Waiting on deck Mark Ellis and David Carpenter, the third pitcher, ready to go for the Angels. Now the 3-1 pitch. Carpenter deals, ground ball to right side. Kendrick goes to second, and a good hard slide ties up the second baseman. However, rounding third and being tagged out is A.J. Ellis. So it looked like a double play, and they finally get Ellis rounding third because they could not get the force play at second base. And the Dodgers come up empty. One last look on television. Kendrick got it to Ibar, but a good hook slide took the play away, only to have exposed A.J. Ellis tagged out, and it's 8-4 Dodgers. The Dodgers leading 8-4. Have been 15 hits already in the first 3 innings and 12 runs scored. The Dodgers with Josh Beckett still in there, and it's been Vargas, Stetters, and Carpenter. The new boards have now been displayed to the crowd here, and we happily display them to you. They are absolutely magnificent. Here's part of the enjoyment, the whole new blue here at Dodger Stadium. So Beckett working on Howie Kendrick. Off speed for a strike. Kendrick singled to center in the second inning. Boy, he was born to hit. No two ways about it. Marvelous hitter. Way out in front of that change. So that takes care of Kendrick. He's 1 for 2 as he strikes out. Say a reminder. Bring the kids to Dodger Stadium on Sunday, April the 7th. The Dodgers and the Pirates. First 15,000 ticketed kids, 14 and under in attendance, receive their own Matt Kemp replica jersey, compliments of Dreyer's Grand Ice Cream. For tickets, visit Dodgers.com/promotions. Well, here's Callaspo. 1 ball and no strikes. Callaspo homered down the right field line with Kendrick aboard in the second inning. 2-0. 1 out, 4th inning, 8-4 in favor of the Dodgers. Little dribbler foul to Alfredo Griffin. 2-1. Big blow tonight. Grand slam home run by A.J. Ellis. And that's going to be hooked down the right field line, in there for a base hit. Over to get it is Ethier, and he will hold it to a single. So Callaspo has a home run, kind of stung his hands on that base hit to right field. It hurts in an exhibition game. It doesn't hurt at all during the regular season. That's not a stung hand. That's bread and butter during the regular. So Callaspo, 2 for 2, and here's Hank Conger. way out in front. Conger struck out in the second inning. Josh Beckett has struck out 4, striking out the side in the second, and then getting Pujols in the third. Trying to golf that one. 0-2 to Hank. Couple of things about the Angels from last year. Last year they were very good to run the count on the pitcher. That's going to go down the line, foul in a hurry. The Angels were in the middle of the league as far as swinging at the first pitch. Mike, offensively, however, they were 5th highest in swinging on 3-0 counts, and the 4th highest in swinging on 2-0 counts. Of course, with the lineup he has this year, and with them being healthy, they'll be swinging a lot 2-0 and 3-0, I'm sure. Foul ball. Last year, way above average, the Angels had the highest number of infield hits. Now remember, tonight we saw Mike Trout try to bunt a couple of times and then bunt and get thrown out. Well, last year they had the highest number of bunts, 100% more than the second place team. They had 26 bunt singles last year. Ball 1. I'll have to check the pitch count on Josh Beckett because he's still in there. And there you can see 68 pitches, and he's in the 4th inning. Off speed by the diving Adrian Gonzalez for a hit. Rounding second and holding on is Callaspo. So the Angels now, with Conger getting a base hit, have runners at first and second, and J.B. Shuck is going to come up and bat for Carpenter. So Beckett getting close to 70 pitches, and now will face the pinch hitter, a left-hand batter. You might remember that name, Shuck, from 2 years ago. He was with Houston, and he hit 272. JB from Wetterville, Ohio, lives in Galion, Ohio. Starts him breaking ball for ball 1. Shuck is 25 years old. Be 26 the middle of June. He's a Buckeye. He went to Ohio State University. Though he has 2 on, 1 out. And slaps it to left, but coming up is Crawford and gets it back in. So Shuck, fly ball to left field. Interesting to see how Crawford handled the ball, threw it on the fly to Sellers. And normally you say, well, there's no big deal. Well, there is a big deal when you're coming back from Tommy John surgery. And he handled it and got it quickly back in. Nor did Sellers go way out as if he was expecting to be a cutoff man. And of course, everyone knows Crawford can play. The only real question about him is how was the arm just a couple of days before opening day. So 2 out, 2 on. And here is the amazing young Mr. Trout. When you break down Mike Trout's average last year, the sign of a truly wonderful player, he hit better as the game went on and as his at-bats accumulated. In other words, he was adjusting. His first at-bat averaged 275. His second at-bat, 361. His third time up, his average for the year was .393, and then his fourth time up, .368. And as a rookie, that's truly remarkable. 1 ball and no strikes. Off speed for a strike. 1-1. You can only pray that Mike Trout never has the demons that consumed Mickey Mantle. He's had so many God-given gifts. We pray that he uses them for as long as Mantle did, at least. That's 18 years. 1 ball and 1 strike. Ball 2, 2-1. So Beckett's pitches starting to take its toll now. That fastball was 88. And of course, with Trout, 1 swing, and the Angels are suddenly within 1. You know the story about Mike Trout last year in spring training in Scottsdale, when the 9 veterans took him to a fancy steakhouse, and I mean they had the best of meats and the finest of wines, and he got the bill for $1,800. What would you do if you're 19 and you get the bill for $1,800? He called his mom. His mom said, "Look, pay it with your credit card and we'll take care of it," which he did. And the next day, he got to his locker room in the Angel clubhouse, and there was a little truck, and it was filled 7,200 quarters. I'll do the math. That's $1,800. Spring training for the rookie. 3-1. Fastball and a good one. He had that thing moving a little bit. 91 miles an hour. It was the location, of course. A little bit down, a little bit away. So 3-2 and 2 down. Callaspo and Conger will be ready to go. And hitting behind Trout, Eric Ibar. So it's a big pitch for Josh Beckett. The Rabbits ready to go. Three and 2. The runners go. Off speed, whack to left, down the line, in the corner, into the seats. 3-run home run for Mike Trout. What a blessed young man he is. You just wonder how he can possibly get better. And then you realize he's got plenty of time to do just that. So it's 8-7. Beckett tried to get a breaking ball down, and Trout is strong enough. He didn't have to hit it hard. He went down to get it, and it carries over right into the seats. So for Beckett, the big home run to Mike Trout, and it's Dodgers 8, Angels 7. Down in the Dodger bullpen, Ronald Belisario begins to loosen up. So for Mike Trout, he brings the Angels right back into the game, as he did that countless number of times. What a young player. Wow. So Josh Beckett gives up the home run. Now he has to get Ibar. Josh trying to go 4 innings. Ibar has popped up and doubled, off speed and in for a strike. 0-1. No balls and 1 strike to count. Showing bunt, takes low. Ibar constantly in motion. One ball, 1 strike. Fastball, loop to center. Kemp is there, and that's the inning. But the inning, 2 singles, and with 2 out, a 3-2 pitch hit out by Mike Trout. And at the end of 3.5 innings, 8-7 Dodgers. On KCAL 9, brought to you by Time Warner Cable. Enjoy all the things you love better. Call Time Warner Cable. 1-855-WANT-TWC. The Angels go to the bullpen, and Garrett Richards will pick up. By the way, J.B. Shuck, who batted for Carpenter, stays in the game in center field. Mike Trout has done enough. Single, a stolen base, 3-run home run, scored twice, and Richards picks up. Garrett's a local boy. He's from Riverside, although he makes his home now in Edmonds, Oklahoma. Went to school there and was a #1 pick by the Angels out of the University of Oklahoma. Went to Edmonds when he was 8 years old. So Richards is now the 4th pitcher and working on Mark Ellis for ball 1. 8 runs, 9 hits for the Dodgers, 7 runs, 9 hits for the Angels, and we are only in the 4th inning. That's a strike to Ellis, who singled and struck out. Mark 1 for 2. Garrett Richards accepted a baseball scholarship to the University of Oklahoma, but he was not a smashing success, and that's a strike. Richards had an earned run average in 3 years at Oklahoma. It was 6.5. He said he majored in human relations at Oklahoma, but was really interested in culinary arts and might have pursued that if it wasn't for pro baseball. Fastball pulled to third. Callaspo. 1 away. So Matt Kemp will be coming up. By the way, Beckett made a total of 80 pitches, and they assume that that will be enough for him tonight. So the starting pitchers, Jason Vargas made 60 pitches. Beckett lasted longer and made 80. Well, talking about Oklahoma, here's Matt Kemp. Matt from Midwest City, Oklahoma, against the pride of Edmonds, Garrett Richards. Fastball. Matt so far tonight double to right field to drive in a run and walk. In the dirt. He's going to get away with it. They'll keep the ball in play. 1 ball and 1 strike to count. Garrett is 6'3", 215 pounds. He'll be 25 the end of May. Check swing. That'll cost a strike. 1 and 2. That fastball has a lot of sink to it. That's what happened on that pitch. And that sinking fastball has been clocked as high as 96. He also has a very hard slider, curveball, and a changeup. 1 and 2. Sinker. Good sink on a fastball. Boy, that's a great pitch. It's there, and it's down there. And it's coming up there in the high 90s. So we have 2 out in the 4th inning. Adrian Gonzalez has struck out, reached on a error, which turned out to be the fielder's choice. That was the high pop fly dropped by Ibar. Sinker that missed. 1 ball and no strikes. One and 1 the count. 2 out in the 4th inning. When the Angels come up in the 5th, they'll have Albert Pujols, Josh Hamilton, and Mark Trumbo. One of the big guns has left the lineup, Mike Trout, who had a single, a stolen base, a run scored in the 1st inning, and a 3-run home run in the 4th. 1 and 1. Overthrew on that pitch, trying to get a little something extra. They were working with him last year to have a nice, clean, consistent, repeatable delivery. And all of a sudden that pitch was a throwback. It was not the clean, desirable relief. 2 and 1. Wow. 2 and 2 the count. Gonzalez annoyed with himself and so far struggling with his swing. Just show him a high fastball away and he goes 3 and 2. Gonzalez in some ways might pay a price. He was one hitter in San Diego. He might have changed a little bit in Fenway Park in Boston with that wall in left field and the scoreboard. And just a little dribbler. Pujols to Richards. Easy inning. So an impressive inning for Garrett Richards. Don't forget Pujols leads off. And we're heading to the 5th. 8-7 Dodgers. Somewhat of a slugfest tonight. The Dodgers 8 runs, 9 hits. And for the Angels, getting close, they've come back 7 runs, 9 hits. A.J. Ellis hit the grand slam in the first inning, and Luis Cruz had a big 2-run double, but Mike Trout went 2 for 3, and his 3-run home run got the Angels to within 1. So Ronald Belisario, the big boy out of Maracay, Venezuela, 6'3", 240, originally signed by the Marlins, had the remarkable record of 8-1 last year with an ERA of 2.5. So Belisario ready to pick up and face Albert Pujols. Pujols singled and struck out, and Belisario ready to work against him. So Albert from the Dominican Republic, Ronald Belisario. You know, we were talking before about the imprint that Pujols left in the National League. And certainly he will forever be remembered in St. Louis. The only Cardinals in history to hit more than 400 home runs, Stan Musial and Albert Pujols, period. And I remember Stan Musial, of course, was always called the man. And when Albert came up to St. Louis and started to knock the ball lopsided because of his Hispanic heritage, they wanted to call him El Hombre. And he said, nope, there's only one man. Nice play, the feed, and then Sellers dropped it. Knowing that Pujols has a bad knee and a bad foot, that was a well thought out play. But it's the old story. How'd you come out? Ellis knows he's going away from the play, so he feeds his shortstop, and Sellers drops it. So short of perfection. They're going to give Albert a base hit, though that's 10 hits now for the Angels. And the batter is Josh Hamilton. Right. Hamilton hit into a double play and double the left to drive in a run. We were talking about leaving an imprint in the league, as Pujols did in the National League. How about Hamilton? Little roller. Adrian goes to the bag. In 2010, Hamilton was the first American leaguer to have 40 doubles, 30 home runs, and 100 RBIs, and a .359 batting average, all in 1 year. The other guy who did it was Lou Gehrig. And now let's see. Meeting at the mound. The batter is Mark Trumbo. The tying run is at second base. And let's see, is Don going to go to the pen? He has Matt Guerrier down there. And that's what he's going to do. He'll bring in Guerrier to face Trumbo, and we'll be back. Brought to you by the Lexus Command Performance Sales Event, now through March 31st. And by Skechers Go Run 2 footwear, designed for speed. Here at Dodger Stadium, baseball is the theme, so we'll ask you a question tonight. Who was the last Dodger pitcher other than Clayton Kershaw to start opening day? What kind of a memory do you have? Well, while you ponder that, Matt Guerrier is going to take his warm-up tosses before chasing Trumbo, who has struck out and grounded to third. Matt Guerrier out of Cleveland, Ohio, 6'3", 195, went to Kent State. Trumbo at 6'4", 220. He hit 32 home runs last year, and he's up there now with the tying run at second base. 0-1. Trumbo originally signed a letter of intent to go to SC. His dad, a big fan, but the Angels signed him in August of 04. There was only one shock. Most people thought they would sign him as a pitcher. Oh, 0-2 the count to Mark Trumbo. Born in Anaheim, lives in Orange. One and two. Big battle here. 8-7 Dodgers, fifth inning. Fouled at the plate. AJ shaking up on that one a little bit. Down and then came up and got him. All part of the life of a catcher. 1-2 the count. Ground ball. Sellers has his runner. Now gives it to Cruz. Cruz faking and tags him out. So that's not a very heads-up play for a great player. Albert Pujols, representing the tying run on a bad wheel, trying to go with the ball hit in front of him. He had no reason in the world to be out there. And as you can see, the flat tire, and Cruz takes care of him. So a bad play by Albert Pujols. There aren't many of those. That's the second out. Trumbo at first, and Howie Kendrick at the plate. Well, as the classicists will say on that wild pitch, in 3 words, homer nods. Well, even Pujols pulls a rock. So we have 2 out, 5th inning, and it's 8-7 in favor of the Dodgers. However, Guerrier now wild pitches the tying run to second base. Kendrick is singled and struck out. Oh, 0-1. 0-2. Boy, Kendrick certainly not getting cheated, swinging from the heels. Two out, 0-2 the count. And a high fly ball starting to go foul down the line and back into the crowd. So Andre Ethier, like the Music Man, certainly knows the territory. Interesting that Kendrick would hit the ball in the air. He is known basically as a ground ball hitter. Far more ground balls than fly balls. And still there 0-2. He rarely pops up on the infield. Kendrick had his big year of home runs in 2011. He hit 18. Came back to hit 8 last year. And the fly ball to right field and deep. Ethier is there. So the man who hits ground balls hits one in the air to right. Guerrero is out of the inning. Bad play by Albert Pujols. And at the end of 4.5, Dodgers hanging on, leading 8-7. Nine, brought to you by Carl's Jr. made from scratch buttermilk biscuits, baked fresh every morning, and by your Southern California Chevy dealers. Bottom of the 5th inning with the Dodgers holding on to an 8-7 lead. 8 runs, 9 hits. For the Angels, 7 runs, 10 hits. And for the Dodgers, Luis Cruz will start it off, followed by Andre Ethier and then A.J. Ellis. Luis Cruz struck out on a couple of good fastballs in the first inning, but in the second inning he doubled against Vargas and knocked in a run. Ball 1. Luis Cruz appeared to come from nowhere last year, but from the middle of August until the end of the year, you wouldn't believe how well he did. There were only 5 major league hitters who batted higher than Luis Cruz. From the middle of August to the end of the year, Cruz batted .331. Another thing about him had to do with RBIs that certainly endeared him to Mattingly. Little ground ball under the glove of Callaspo, and Ibar bails him out. So the little guys who are so close as brothers, one follows the other. 1 down. There goes Callaspo, no play. Here comes Ibar, play. So 1 away, and Andre Ethier coming up. To conclude the thought about Luis Cruz, he became the first Dodger to have an RBI in his first 4 games since Jimmy Wynn did it 6 straight years. That was back in 1974. 6 straight games, an RBI for the toy cannon, as they called him. Jimmy Wynn. Ethier has walked, hit back to the box. Oh, and 1. Ethier last year with 20 home runs, 89 runs batted in. Hit .284. 0-1. And hits one to the left center field deep. Back to the track at the wall is Trumbo to make the catch. Slumming over was shut. So 2 down, and the batter will be Ellis.
17,
A reminder, Wednesday, April the 17th, the first 50,000 fans at the game with the Padres receive their own Dodger-themed Hello Kitty fleece blanket. For tickets, visit Dodgers.com/promotions. So Ethier a long out to left, and here's AJ, who had the grand slam home run to center in the first inning when the Dodgers scored 5. Ball 1. Vargas, Stetters, Carpenter, and Richards. Dodgers did all their scoring in the first 2 innings. Dodgers then had the Angels score in each of the first 4 innings, only to come up empty in the 5th inning when PUJOLS, who was the tying run at second base, made a bad base running play, and the Dodgers got out of the inning. Oh, and 1. Well, that was a pretty good fastball down. It was 95. Ellis just able to catch a little bit of it. So Garrett Richards taking control now for the Angels, hoping that his big hitters can catch up. Dodgers have Matt Guerrier in the game, but they have a left-hander throwing in the bullpen now. That's foul back. Down in the pen, J.P. Howell. There's J.P. Well, he's throwing hard and sending messages. He's fighting for a job. That was 94. One ball and 2 strikes. A.J. Ellis. So after the high fastball, the hard slider, and Richards does his job, retires the Dodgers in order, and at the end of 5, 8-7 Dodgers. Dodgers